So the first thing we're going to do here is to scale up into the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, what is the first thing we are going to be observing here? Now, if we look at the structure here going to the last quarter of last year's trading session, you would obviously see that price was found in lower highs at one point, and what we want to be doing is to connect the series of lower highs first of all. And when we do that, we are going to be having this bearish trend line that you can see on my screen right now. So we have connected the lower highs here, and another thing you will notice here, despite the fact that we have in lower highs in this market, you would notice that price action was finding it difficult to find lower lows here. So it tells us that buyers are gradually gaining some momentum. So when we connect the series of higher lows here, we have this bullish trend line at this point. And so what this simply tells us is that we might be in for a reversal pattern in this market. So now with the situation we have here right now, we have already seen a key level we shall be using to guide our trading activity for today, which is going to be falling between the, I think, the 164.00 area, I guess. Okay, I think it's the 164.0. So I will map that out right now, extend it out a little further so that we can see things more clearly here. So we have the 164.00 level. Okay, a Jawi, I can see. All right, that's beautiful. All right, so let me know if you don't understand anything here, so I will be able to expatiate further for you. So we have the 164.00 level figured out here, so we shall be labeling it and placing it right at the top right hand side of our screen. So I will give this one a green color, so things will get a little bit clearer when we bring back our candle chart right now. But before I do that, I also want to acknowledge this demand zone here, which has been very strong since the beginning of this year. So we can see we've been seeing bullish momentum since the beginning of the year. So we have the demand zone figured out here. So I always like to give this a white color placed right inside that box, and then I give this a darker color. All right, so we have a demand zone just right around the 156.00 level. So things will get clearer when we bring out our candle chart right now. So you can see things right now. So we have, let me extend this up a little bit. So we have something like this right now. So we have a beautiful reversal pattern gradually unfolding before our highs, and we have a neckline of that reversal pattern sitting exactly along the 164.00 area, which has been a strong determinant of price action since the month of November last year. And this has also led to the breakout of that bearish trend line, which for me at this point is a beautiful signal that the trend line may no longer be strong enough to hold this bearish momentum to the downside. So what we are going to be doing right now is to wait for this confirmation to happen. So if you had missed this trading opportunity right above the 162.900 level, well, we need to be very patient for further confirmations to happen at this point. So now we have the breakout of the bearish trend line at this point, and for further confirmation from a technical standpoint, we expect that price will at one point probably do a retest of structure. It might not happen, it's a possibility, and by pressure above the structure, we'll be welcoming additional position here. So with the situation we have here, understanding the fact that bullish momentum is gradually coming in this market, so how do we intend to take advantage of the trading opportunity this week? So what we are going to be doing right now is to scale down to a much lower time frame to see how price action has been reacting with this neckline area since the beginning of this week. So what we are going to be doing now is to scale down to the 1 hour time frame. So let's see what has been happening here since the beginning of today. So we shall be zooming right into, okay, first of all, I want us to look at the 4 hours time frame. I think I saw something here which will be of major assistance in helping us to guide our trading activity today. So we have higher lows identified here. So what I will do is connect the series of higher lows. So we shall be giving this a green color to emphasize a bullish momentum, which started on the, I think on the last trading, I think last week of last month's trading session, we saw this bullish trend line began here. So this bullish trend line here that we've just identified will be our yardstick for trading activity for this week. And what this simply means is that if price action continues to trade above that bullish trend line, we shall feel comfortable buying the GBPJPY. But if price action breaks down that bullish trend line, then we might likely see price action going down to retest the bearish trend line here that was broken last week. Remember, this is the bearish trend line we identified on the daily time frame. So we might likely see price action drop into the trend line to incite that move to the upside. So we are going to see that too as well. But if price action remains above the bullish trend line, then we might be in for a buy opportunity this week. So let's look at the 1 hour time frame to see how our participant in this market has been reacting to the structure. So let me zoom this out a little bit and bring the 164 into our purview so that we can see things more clearly. So I'll be doing some readjustment to that 164 level so that we could be able to, okay, so this is the 164. So please, let's take note of this. And since the beginning of this week, we have seen our price, we saw where price started the week. It started the week at around the 164.400 level, which I will be using as I'll be giving a blue color and label it 164.400. okay, make the font a little bit smaller so that it won't obstruct our structure. Then we have the support line for this week somewhere around the 163.450, I guess. Yeah, 163.450, another psychological level there. So I place it at the bottom right hand side. So we have this. Now that we have the situation here figured out, we have already seen price action break out of the 164.00 level, which happens to be the resistant line for this week, which is a beautiful signal that we are going bullish for this week. Then in addition to this, if we take into consideration what happened on Friday, you will see our price was finding lower highs. So I will connect the series of lower highs here and I will make this a little bit thinner, and you can see. So this is more or less a further tool that we are going to be using to guide our trading activity for today. So now that we have the structure figured out, this is the 1 hour time frame. And on the GBPJPY, we have three structures that we shall be using to guide our bullish momentum this week. So the first structure is a resistant line here at the 164.400, which has been broken to the upside. The second one is the bearish trend line here, which was supporting bearish momentum since last week Friday. And the third structure is this bullish trend line that we identified on the 4 hours time frame. So going into the new week right now, if you are taking advantage of the bullish momentum here, well done to you for being on standby to have caught the breakout of that channel. But if you had missed out on that opportunity, well, I'm of the opinion that there is a tendency of price action coming back to do a retest of this trend line at one point in time, or probably go as far as retesting the 164.400, which is the resistant line for the week, which also shares a confluence with that bullish trend line that we identified on the 4 hours time frame, which might snap out to be this beginning of the second wave of this bullish momentum. So that is what we are going to be using to guide our trading activity for today. Then another thing about this structure is the fact that we could also have another opportunity to add more position if price action continues to find higher highs. Breaking out this key structure here had the 165 point is it 200? Yeah, 200. So 165.200 level. So I will label that also so that we can use it as a yardstick for 165.200. all right, I hope this is very clear here. Don't get it twisted. You might want to screenshot my screen so that you can use it as a reference point when you're about to make your individual decision. So we have the breakout retest of this structure here. So this is what we shall be using. So far so good right now. We are bullish on the GBPJPY and we anticipate price action breaking out of the 165.200 level to welcome additional position on this pair. So this is what we shall be looking forward to buy the GBPJPY today. However, I would like to state here that I always try as much as possible to be as flexible. The market is a fluid environment and anything could actually happen at any point in time. So we want to be as fluid as possible so that we can be part of any momentum that happen. So in this kind of situation here where we are looking forward to buying opportunity, we should also keep it at the back of our mind that sellers could also come in at any point in time. And we also want to identify what structure are we going to be seeing here that will make us change our views from this bullish expectation that we have here. Well, I told you all on the 4 hours time frame that we have a bullish trend line, which I identified earlier here. So we want to see price action break down that bullish trend line for us to know that, okay, it's time to get ready for a momentum shift. So if price action breaks down the bullish trend line here, this is a beautiful sign that price action is going the other way. But we are not jumping into conclusion right now, as it could turn out to be a false breakdown. Remember, we have buy pressure around this area. We have a support line here, so it could turn out to be a false breakdown where price will climb up, just shake out some people out of the market and continue to the upside. So we don't want to jump in right away if it breaks down. So what we are going to be doing is to remain patient and wait for a significant signal that the sellers are actually getting stronger in this market. So we are going to see something like a retest of the 164.400 level, which also shares a beautiful confluence with that bearish trend line. We are selling pressure resuming below the structure on our lower time frame will give us a signal to get ready to sell the GBPJPY, and then breakdown retest will welcome more selling opportunities in this market. So this is what I will be looking forward to sell. So we are not selling unless a breakdown retest of the structure happens on the GBPJPY. So our perspectives remain bullish. Let's be on standby for more opportunities, and for those who are taking advantage of this move, you might want to move your stop loss, secure this current position as we wait out for more trading opportunities. So on this note, I would want to call it a day here. Hey Jawi77, I hope I made myself clear. Do you have any questions? Let me know